no responsible, reasonable Nigerian who is not under the influence of alcohol like Wike will suggest Wike as vice president. One day he will just be sitting down. Atiku will just come out with blood in his head as president. And Peter will be left our party because of Wike. Because Wike supported the Chris Uba side during the during the delegate Congress. And that was why he left the party.
Oh, that I was trying to get him away from Port Harcourt?
Yes.
Oh, first I've got him out of my government because I knew he wasn't qualified to be my government. It was just because Chuma came with that advice. If Chuma didn't come with that advice, and that is the worst advice I've accepted in life, and that is the worst decision I've made in life.
You're saying that you knew that your chief of staff was like that, and yet he was that close to you?
By the time I knew who he was, I had already appointed my chief of staff. So what I had to do was to manage him. And I did. You can ask anybody. In fact, the things I heard he did behind me, if I had it as a governor, I would have removed him as a chief of staff.
Did your relationship turn sour?
Yeah, exactly.
You heard it was violent? Was
exactly.
that why it turned sour?
It was sour for reasons of corruption, for reasons of violence and all that. I had to barely manage him. Our chairman of party, Chief Ake, was always on me, say, manage him. They must not know that there's a disagreement in government. And everybody knew that I was just managing him.
How?
That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is fall on the side of the law. We're the victim.
Hello, fellow followers and subscribers of Holy Ghost Son. I hope this video finds you well. Now, guys, I came across a video this morning. I saw this guy on Chinese TV, the former governor of Rivers State, Ameachi. This guy unveiled the real character of Wike. Let's not forget, he was the one that appointed him chief of staff. When he saw that this guy wasn't qualified and he was a betrayer, he kicked him out. Okay, after that, so the government, they recommended him anyway for ministerial position. Okay, anyway, I want you to listen to him. Also listen to what Dino Milaye said about him. You understand? Then you know why the country is how it is. I don't want to, you see when the guy is full of himself. Even recently, about 2 days ago, he used the name of Peter Obi to chase clout. Anyway, just listen. And please like the video. Don't forget to share. Make another person see. We have to expose character like this. Thank you.
You sit down with the governor who's your friend, because even when you discovered him of such, you said you managed him, and that time you were managing him, you also recommended him. Who recommended him as minister? As a minister, you did. So you also recommended him, even though you knew that you were trying to manage him. You sent him to the federal cabinet. So in other words, it might be that you're saying this because both of you are not in good terms. He was a good man to you, and yes, you don't recommend someone who.
I wish you knew those who are good men to me.
Mr. Ameachi, you wouldn't. If I'm your friend, you wouldn't recommend me if I'm a bad man. And
just listen. In politics, there are decisions you just implement. As a governor, there's what Nigerian politicians call you must consult. Now, by the time we were ready to nominate ministers, we agreed to nominate somebody, and we nominated the person. The person was accepted. Well, the person was not accepted, so we replaced the person with another person. Now, there's one ministerial nomination that came to the office of the chairman of the Governors Forum, which is the Minister of State for South-South, and it was given to me. Again, in this issue of Nigerian politicians, when they say you must carry us along, I came back home and said, listen, the president has agreed that I should nominate Minister of State for South-South. Who do we send? A friend of mine and his friend, who he brought to us, and now we own him as our friend, because he remained with us despite the fact that this man went away. Chuma, who became my commissioner for commerce, now advised that our friend is a bit depressed since I removed him as chief of staff. That we don't want to have a medical crisis in our hand. I won't see the details. That if we don't want to have a medical crisis in our hand, we should please put him forward. That he thinks that the federal government can control his activities. So if we put him forward, he thinks that the president, he may not be as reckless as he'll be in the state.
So he was correct when
I said we did.
He was correct when he said that you tried to get rid of him when you nominated him to be minister.
I wish him luck. One thing I do in life is that if I'm privileged to nominate you, I finished. How you manage your position, what
No,
you do
I'm
with it.
saying that. I mean, that's what he said.
How can I?
He said there was
Don't forget that.
He said there was a sinister motive. That was why you nominated him. It wasn't altruistic.
Oh, that I was trying to get him away from Port Harcourt.
Yes.
Oh, first I've got him out of my government because I knew he wasn't qualified to be my government. It was just because Chuma came with that advice. If Chuma didn't come with that advice, and that is the worst advice I've accepted in life, and that is the worst decision I've made in life. To have listened to Chuma and put him forward when I knew who he was. I was overwhelmed by the number of people who spoke to me about the issue of the consequences. And if we don't want to lose a friend, then we must swallow the bitter pill.
Well,
and don't forget, I had to work on the issue of, oh, Governor, you're always stubborn.
you're still.
And I backed out.
We're still talking about way forward. I mean, because some people will say that if you say that the governor must stop supporting violence, and you're saying it here on television, there is no way, that kind of recommendation is going to work. What is your own party going to do? What is your own side going to do?
On the election day? Is it on the election day or what?
Even now.
That's not what we're doing. What we're doing is fall on the side of the law. We're the victims. We're helpless. It is the responsibility. Listen, I took an oath of office as a governor. I swear that I will protect lives and properties. That's all. Nothing more. I didn't see anything in that oath. So it is the governor's responsibility. If I were to be him, and this is the man inciting violence, I either prosecute him. I will prosecute anybody if I were to be the governor. And I did. So I either prosecute him, or if it's beyond me, let's assume that, he has the protection of the federal government, he's so close to the president that he sleeps in the president's bedroom, I'll walk up to him. Do you enjoy people losing their life?
It's pathetic that Wike had that press briefing this morning, definitely with Rivers State taxpayers' money, and that has now become a routine, that anytime he wakes up, either in his living room or at the backyard of his apartment or house, he calls journalists and starts vituperations. But when I ran for governorship in 2019, Governor Wike was my biggest sponsor. Governor Wike was my biggest supporter, to the tunes of hundreds of thousands of dollars. He supported my primaries. He did not just support my primaries. Wike provided his private jet to drop me in Kogi in Obajana airstrip on the day of my primaries. And he was calling me every minute, to find out, where are we? Have we succeeded? So meaning that Wike saw something in me in 2019 when he supported me. He knew I was a gubernatorial material. He knew I was fit to be governor. Hence, his investment or support, as the case may be. So what now happened between 2019 and 2023? That you are now saying that I'm not fit to be a governor. Somebody you have spent your money on, somebody you supported materially and otherwise, but suddenly because I'm not a bootlicker, suddenly because I refuse to participate in your very myopic and intellectually stagnant presidential ambition, you now see me, understand, as one not fit for governorship. You now start using foul languages on my person.
So this is about 2023 election?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
No, the fight between both of you is because of the last election?
Everyone in this country, including yourself, knows that once Wike does not entertain second opinion. And that is why you can see that even lawyers who are taking their evidence to court have been barricaded, violently destroying their materials. He abhors opposition. He cannot stand opposition. That's why he has even gone to court to try to stop opposition from participating in the election. That is why hired people will go to INEC and block and barricade INEC from others coming to lay their complaints or get their evidence or get certified true copies of what they are demanding for. That is typical Yesom Wike for you. And Nigerians, if you give me a minute, Nigerians should not also be fooled. Let me tell you this. Wike will come and tell you, anyway, he's not even getting that right. Apparently he didn't go to a nursery school, so he has problem with his vowels. He calls it integrity. So that is integrity. Justice, equity, that is always clamoring. It doesn't possess 1% of it. When he will come and tell you he wants the southern presidency, that is why he's fighting. But that is a bogus lie. Wike wanted to be vice presidential candidate to Atiku. Wike called me 19 times in 2 hours when Atiku was going to mention his vice presidential candidate, lobbying me with everything possible to influence Atiku to announce him as the vice president. I have witnesses. I even gave the phone to Senator Abdul Nengi, who spoke with him. He also lobbied him. I gave the phone to Senator Zamire. He also spoke to Senator Zamire. His people were calling me back to back, back to back. In fact, he got to the airport. He was in the airport for hours, just waiting for my call to say, Atiku have agreed for you to be the vice presidential candidate. At about 1 o'clock, I called him and I said, my brother, it no go happen, no. That was when he got annoyed and flew to. So, but
why did you let him down? The man who spent money in 2019.
it is not about money. It is not about money. It's about, and I am not Atiku Abubakar. I cannot choose a vice presidential candidate for Atiku Abubakar.
But did you have that discussion with Atiku Abubakar while Nyesom Wike was trying to get you to influence his choice?
Responsible, reasonable Nigerian who is not under the influence of alcohol like Wike will suggest Wike as vice president. One day he will just be sitting down. Atiku will just come out with blood in his head as president.
Why not? I mean, having been minister, he was Minister of Education, he's governor.
That is not the president of the Republic of Nigeria. And even as governor, you can see. Every Nigerian can see his attitude gubernatorial, even the way he responded today. What is Wike's business with Kogi State? What is his political business with Kogi State? A man who is going to leave office in a matter of days is disturbing the entire country with an election that have nothing to do with him.
But don't you think the whole Wike scenario and situation actually cost the PDP the presidency at the end of the day?
No, I disagree. It is actually Wike's attitude and character that caused the PDP the presidency. Today, Peter Obi left our party because of Wike. Because Wike supported the Chris Uba side during the during delegate Congress. And that was why he left the party.